What's up, y'all? We are back, episode 31 of the Twins Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. We are here in 2034, June 30th, and almost exactly the halfway point in the season. And the Twins sit at 50 and 30. We are 2 games behind the Tigers for first place. We've been, kind of taking over the save as we go further in, and we kind of decline, and they progress in their development. So there's been some good, there's been some bad this season. Mostly good. We had off to a really good start. Um, Way back in April, you can see there's a lot of green here. We had off to like one of our best starts ever, and then it kind of came apart in May. June was okay. I guess we could look at the month by month. Um, so in April we went 19 and 6, really good start. And then May, 13 and 15, maybe one of our worst months ever. And then June we've been really good. So there's been a lot of good and mostly good and some bad too. So we'll go through how everyone's doing at this point and go into the trade deadline. I already have one trade lined up, so stay tuned for that. But let's sort by WAR and the pitching staff. We'll start there. So Mike Wolf got off to a pretty bad start. He's just now turning it around a little bit, but like March and April he was fine, but then May he was really bad. And then June he's been good. So you know, mostly good for our massive, our best pitcher and the guy who's on this massive contract. Belcher Glazebrook has been really good all season long, and he's walking a few too many guys, but he's limiting the home run ball, and that's been good for him. Mike Carson's been really good, 3.64 ERA. Just really consistent as like our 3-starter, 4-starter. Hagen Smith was like carrying us on his back the first couple months of the season. Take away that March start, and then like April, May, he was fantastic for us. In June he stumbled a little bit, but overall he's been awesome again. Mr. Consistent over there, and then Eric Watson's, he's been good. He's come back from injury and pitched pretty well, so no complaints there. John Lash has been awesome in the setup role. No 0.54 ERA. I think he'll make the All-Star team for sure. And then Soho has been great as our closer as well. We've been able to find these guys in the trade market, just kind of close games for us year to year. I'm sure he'll be gone after the season. Oh no, he actually has another year or so, and we're basically getting him for free, which is great. Kind of icing on the cake of that trade. Ivan Armstrong's been really solid. The FIP is way better than his ERA, and he's pitched a lot better lately. So happy with that. He's been up and down, mostly in AAA, but he's been good when he's come up. Chase Petty's been pretty disappointing. I'm not sure what's going on here. His ERA is like twice his FIP. I still believe in him, but the leash is short here. We can't have a guy pitching to a 7 ERA in our bullpen. Antonio Jimenez has been okay. Definitely a spot I'm going to look to upgrade that lefty in the bullpen. He had a bad game here, but he's also been bad for most of the season. His April was brutal. He's out of options, so I couldn't send him down. So he's just kind of chilling on the roster right now. Gismondi's been really good again. 2 nice seasons in a row after a pretty bad one in 2032. And then Danny Bruin's also been great. Not walking anyone, which is, he doesn't have insanely high control. So maybe he gets a development boost here and becomes like a really nice pitcher. But yeah, he's mostly been out of the pen. He made one start here when I needed him, and overall been a good pitcher. So the hitting's been a different story, to say the least. We'll sort by WRC plus. Juan Ramirez just got called up, but Carson DeMartini has been good, but not like not his MVP levels of the past. 264 average is by far his career worst. Not like that matters a ton, but it does. And his WRC plus is projected to be like the second worst in his career. Harrison Sodden's been really nice. 131 WRC plus. His ratings have been right. That's the OSA. He's been good out of the DH spot. Tommy White's been really good, playing a lot of third base actually. Primarily third base, just because we don't have a ton of options over there. So and our outfield is really thin, so we're forced to play a couple of guys out there. Like Tommy White's actually playing left field right now. Yeah, the outfield is insanely thin. A true outfielder, I should say. Tony Ramirez has been mostly in a platoon role, but he's been great in that spot. I don't even know if he's hit against. He's actually hit well against righties, but I mostly have him in there against lefties. Owen Peña's been really good as well. 118 WRC plus, being my mostly leadoff hitter the entire season, and playing like a respectable shortstop. Palencia has been insanely disappointing. He's just now turning it on a little bit. He's a notorious slow starter, but only on pace for 14 home runs this season. He also has a sore elbow, so I'm DHing him. So that thin outfield got even thinner because we have to play Tommy White out there. Jack Ruckert's been okay, about a league average hitter, and playing all over the field. I think I've had him mostly in left, but kind of filling in wherever I need him. Jeff Roy's been, okay, but he's a guy I'm looking to move, and you might see that trade in just a moment here. Ben Hoffman's been fine, a 90 WRC plus. I don't think he'll ever replicate his early career success these 2 seasons, but a 90 WRC plus guy with good defenses is valuable. Lamar King continues to not be able to. He kind of forgot how to hit. I don't know what happened here. He went from being like an elite hitter for a catcher to being like one of the worst hitters in baseball, which is just crazy to me. But Jeff Hatfield also been really disappointing. That's a spot I'm looking to upgrade. And Matsumura has been mostly in AAA, but just got the call up. So there you go. That's a quick rundown of how the team's going. So as you can see, our biggest weakness is our offense. We're 6th in runs scored, which isn't bad, but first in runs against, we need some support for the pitching staff. So our biggest hole is center field. There was a guy on the trade market that I really liked, and yeah, we're going to pull the trigger on this. So this is the trade. Julio Rodriguez, who maybe not the player he used to be, but still a really good player. 127 WRC plus this season. Had a bit of a rough year last year, but he's really been consistent throughout this save. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. Probably a future Hall of Famer, I'd say. Just a rental, but they're eating 35% of the deal, and in return, we're giving up this guy, Amos Quita, who's on the 40-man roster. Not much of a player. Can't really play the outfield. Terrell Barzy, who was up in the majors for a lot of the year so far, but, he's replaceable as a 27-year-old. Jeff Hatfield, he's kind of like the centerpiece, I guess you can call it. 26-year-old with a lot of control, but hasn't really put it together at the plate. And I really just don't think he's going to turn into anything big, so I'm okay giving him up. And then Jeff Roy, who, he's very replaceable on this team right now. We need more versatility, I think, especially outfielders, so he can't play the outfield, so yeah, he's kind of replaceable at this point. And, his bat never really turned into what we thought he could be, which at the time I said that's probably likely because he was like 25 or 24 when we traded for him. We didn't give up a ton to get him. I don't even know. He says Spera is in the majors. Zeal's in AAA. Ravello's a nice player, but he's already gone. And Juan Hernandez isn't much. So, yeah, that was like we didn't give up a ton to get him. So, this is the trade. We're going to pick up Julio Rodriguez to stick into center field. So, really big one here. And, that deepens our lineup. Yeah, they don't like that Barzy left. I guess he was one of our captains. That sucks, but, they love that we got Julio Rodriguez. Who wouldn't? And he's still a good player. It's not like we're picking up some washed dude. So, okay. So, Rodriguez will come onto the team. And let's see where he slots into this lineup. So, that does leave a hole at third base, kind of. I do have plans for that. Josh Moreau, who is a former 5th-round pick, has been crushing AAA. So, I think I'm going to give him the call, even though his ratings aren't really developed enough. And I think he'll probably play some third base. We also have Juan Ramirez, who I want to give a shot to. We have like Billy Sharp down here. We have a lot of like fringe guys, but I just want to see if they can play at this point. So yeah, Rodriguez will slot into the lineup. I don't know where he's going to hit yet. I guess he'll He'll probably hit cleanup to break up DeMartini and Sodden here. And then against lefties, maybe he'll hit. Yeah, I'll probably hit cleanup again. I like this lineup quite a bit. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, there you go. Pretty crazy picking up Rodriguez. I still got really good speed. He could be my leadoff hitter, quite frankly. I like him in the 4 hole, so we'll roll with that for now. And then the pitching staff I think is pretty good. We have some depth too. Like Brazen has been up and down. I would really like to give him a shot because he's been good when he's been up, but I don't think this ERA indicates how good he's been. He had a couple bad games at the end, like the San Francisco game, this Cleveland game. He's been better than his ERA indicates, but yeah, there you go. So we'll sim ahead to maybe like the first year player draft and get back. All right, so we're back at the All-Star break and go over who made the All-Star team. So John Lash was our only pitcher, which is pretty crazy considering we are first in runs against in the league and no one else can make it, which is, I don't know, I think it's pretty crazy. But, there's a lot of good pitchers here, so I get it. And then for our hitters, it was only Palencia. Shocking. He hasn't been that good, which is weird, but him and Harrison Sodden, I think this is his first appearance, so hopefully first of many for him. But yeah, those are our only players, only 3. Maybe the lowest we've ever had, but who really cares? It's the All-Star game. It's who picks the best players at the halfway point in the season. That makes no sense. So this guy looks pretty good. Okay, so we're at the first year player draft. I want to see when that guy goes. Do you have A or if he would fall to us by any chance? All right, so a couple of good players have been taken. Frandy Bean. Sorry. Okay, let's sim ahead. Okay, so that guy looks good. Okay. Those are only pitchers, so let's go to all players. I'm going to look at college guys first. Mike Horowitz looks okay. Not much of a defender, but that back can play in the corner. Gabe Elbert. Pretty nice player here. He's not really developed for a 21-year-old, which scares me a bit, but Greg Gray, this is a nice player. Overall good hitter, can play center field if you need him to. Joe Mills, not bad, but has no eye. I kind of need my players to have some kind of eye, like at least 40 on the 20 to 80. Babsey's are okay. As for college guys, this is a bit of a disappointing draft, but this guy would be nice if he had some stamina. He'd still be a good pitcher, but yeah, he's just a reliever, unfortunately. Okay, so maybe I'll go through some high school guys too, and then get back with a pick in just a minute. All right, so little update: we have 3 picks, in the top. What is this? 36. So we have 3 guys, kind of 3 guys we could take here. And I put together this little short list. I should have been doing this from the start, but these are I went through pretty much everyone ranked 45 and above. A couple guys that were 40 that I liked, but put them in the short list. So a ton of guys to go through here, but really the ones that stuck out to me, this guy, Jeff Weitzerek. If I do pick him, I'll have to figure that out, but I really like him. Third baseman of the future, potentially. I don't like his personality, but I can get over that if you're a really good player. And then some other guys. I like all of these 3 center fielders. Greg Gray, probably be my favorite of the 3. But Gabe Elbert's a nice player, just not really developed enough at age 21. And then Mike Horowitz, who's more of a corner guy. So they all have flaws. Gray's has the strikeout problem, but probably the surest thing of the bunch, I'd say. I also like this guy, Darnell Bappasy, but he doesn't really have a defensive home. He's good at second base, but we have Palencia there long term. He could be a replacement if he opts out after the year, but a couple other pitchers that I liked. This guy was my favorite, Trevette here. Good pitch mix, sinker, splitter, curveball. extreme ground ball, and he's a lefty, which is we have we have a good mix, so it's not really a big deal, but I feel like we always have a ton of righties in our rotation. Lesson's good too. Then like we got some other guys down here that I probably won't take with any of these 3 picks, but really I'm hoping to take. So I'm probably gonna take Weitzerwick with my first pick. Then hope like maybe Greg Gray's available. Or maybe I'll take Gray here. And then take one of these pitchers basically. So that's my plan. We'll see if it works. We're at pick 28, so we have. Let's see, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks out last, and get one of those guys. So, which one do I think is going to go first is basically my question. I think Weitzerwick could go first, only because he's like pretty developed already at age 21. So I think I'm going to take him here, and then hope one of those center fielders and pitchers are available with my next 2 picks. So way below slot, which is great because I don't know how much these guys are going to cost. Looks like Gray's affordable and everything, so we could splurge a little bit later on in the draft. So we'll meet his demand, and let's go. So if we took Jeff Frakes, wasn't really on my radar as a guy I would draft. Joel Bradley, another guy. He might have been on my list, but not really. I like this Phil Rivera guy, but he doesn't. The slider and the cutter are a little redundant. The changeup might not develop. Those are my concerns with him. This guy doesn't have an out pitch. He's going to be a reliever. That's a bad pick. Okay, so it looks like we outlasted everyone pretty much with those guys. So I think Greg Gray is the guy I'm going to go with here. Has the strikeout issue, but if he gets that up to a 40, he's going to be a really good player. And he could probably play center field. Has really good speed. I think this is a no-brainer. We could even double up and go with like Horowitz. My only concern about Horowitz is he can't play center. He could be a really good corner guy too, but maybe I'd take him with the next pick. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Greg Gray. I like how he looks. So there you go. We'll meet his demand, and then we have one more pick. So Mike Horowitz does go. That's unfortunate, but not a huge deal. So it's going to be up to between Brad Moreno, who I like because he has a ton of pitches, but he is a high schooler, so there's risk in that. Josh Leeson. Really no complaints about him besides being a high schooler, and then Trevette, who I probably would have never taken this guy before this save, but the 3-pitch guys actually they can throw his starters. So he looks like a good all around pitcher. The sinker and splitter are a little redundant, which I'm nervous about. Antoyo probably not good enough to take here. None of these other arms I really love. So, and I mean, Gabe Albert's still on the table. Probably not, though. My favorite of the bunch is probably Brad Moreno, now that I'm looking. High movement, so he'll be able to suppress the home run and the ball in the minors while he develops. 93 to 95, that'll play. Slider, curveball, screwball, sinker. Probably the best pitch mix of anyone left here. And then the changeup, who knows, but... I don't think there's a ton of other guys that I love. Let me go look at that short list really quick again. Draft targets. So we took we took those guys. I probably should have taken Horowitz looking back, but whatever. You can't hit on all of these. I don't think there was anyone else that really stuck. I think this Phil McKay guy quite a bit. He's well developed. Fastball, curveball, sinker. Not the worst pitch mix. Not my favorite, though. I'm more of a slider guy over that curveball, but he could pitch probably right now for me, I like that a lot. I don't really know if we need a ton of pitchers. I mean, our system is thinned out a bit. We have some guys in the upper minors like Benavides, who I don't love, but Jerry Patton's almost here. He was pitching well in Double-A. Called him up. Kevin Irvin. Yeah, okay, we've invested quite a bit in starting pitcher, so I would actually be okay taking a hitter here. So let me see what we have on the short list for infielders. So, all right, let's go through this list. I like Jeff Burns. Some of these guys are like later round guys that I liked. Andy Lee's one of them. Seager, Segler. We took him. Yeah, okay. So there, I guess Bapsy wouldn't be bad. The only thing concerns me is this second base only guy. He is ready for the majors. Like he'll be ready for the majors within a couple of years. Or we could just double up in center field and go with Elbert and hope one of these guys hits. That might be the way to go. See, he's not developed though. That's the issue. This is tough. That's why I usually do this off camera, but we're already this far. He has good speed. Can he play the outfield? No. Shit. Lesson, slider, curveball, changeup, fastball. You know what? Maybe he's the guy here. 55 stamina doesn't really blow me away, though. Trevette, he could... God dang it. Okay. I'm going to go with Marino here. Let's get a starter in these first couple of rounds. He only wants slots, so that's good. We'll meet his demand. And we also... What pick is this? This is our 29th pick. Okay, so this is our second round pick. So Lesson's still there. Trevette's still there. So all those pitchers are still there. That's really good to see. Like this guy Gates, he doesn't really have. He has a ton of fastballs, which I don't like. Okay, I'm gonna take Lesson here. I think he doesn't want any crazy demands. That's good. You know, these high school arms, they take a while to get up to the majors, but maybe Trevette. I don't know. Curveball, sinker, splitter. I'm trying to think of how that's going to work. I think it could. He's a ground baller, which I like. I think that would be okay. I'm going to go with Trevette because I liked him from the start. And I'm just going to go with my gut here. So, go to the third round, and Lesson's still here. I don't even... You know what? I'm just going to double up on these guys, so... There we go. We've pretty much gone through all the players that I liked. I like this guy, but this is the fourth round. This is probably getting boring, so I will stop recording here and update after the draft. Okay, so we have another trade to go through here. So Lamar King has kind of fallen out of favor with me. He hasn't been horrible this year. He's been better than he's been the last two seasons combined, but. He's a free agent after the year. He's pissed off. He's not in the starting lineup. And, yeah, I'm kind of just done with him for now. He was a good player for a couple of years, but kind of fell off. And we're going to package him with Kevin Bibles, Jacob Kendall, who's a decent depth organization piece, David Rutt, who's kind of the same, and Zach Youngren, who was a second-round pick in 2029, who was never able to hit in the upper minors at all. So we're going to move on from him. In return, we'll get Dave Impson, who's a 24-year-old relief, long relief, spot starter type. And then Jim Reno, who's going to be the backup catcher for me. Kind of replacing Lamar King, but he'll actually be happy playing on the bench, and he's under control for multiple years moving forward. So I was kind of, and $3 million cash. So I was kind of able to turn King, who's like a distress asset, who's not a good player, if he got to play, but, and, he could turn it around a little bit, but, yeah, I'm kind of out on him. Also, I was looking to deal one of these outfielders I have in the upper minors. I want to see if I can get any more cash with this. All right, so then even want Kevin Hood. Is that worth, it's probably not worth $1 million. Okay. Anyway, we'll take Hood out of that. All right, so this will be the trade, and there you go. Yeah, they're going to be pissed about Lamar, but, he wasn't happy on the team, and I think Reno gives us a better, better floor with a backup catcher. So it might be a stupid trade, but we get control of him for multiple years, and I think we'll be good. So there you go. Also, we're facing old friend Alvaro Estrada. If you remember, we traded him after we won the World Series in 2030. We got Hagen Smith in return for that trade. And Arolver is also on the trade block, so I think that worked out okay for us. Estrada has never turned into actually even a league average pitcher with them. Well below league average every year, and I think that worked out okay for us. So, we're about to start the post All-Star break stretch here, so we'll be back around the trade deadline and update you guys then. Actually, did I go over the first-year player? I did not go over the first-year player draft. Sorry. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Okay. I sat down for I got it for a couple of seconds after and kind of forgot about this. So, we went over Trevette. We took Josh Leeson, went over him. Okay, this is the first guy I took. So, Juan Pulido, I think, maybe how you say it. Not really sure, but high work ethic, 60 catcher ability, and a decent bat. Maybe a future starting catcher for us. Who knows? These guys tend to flame out. So there you go. Tim Lamoureux, we took in the, the 5th round? He was one of these high school guys who was just sitting there. He had a bit of a demand, but I was able to, I had enough room to be able to offer him a deal. And 17 years old, a lot of bust potential, but still excited for that. Chase Ryan Green was a guy who was considering taking in the 5th round. He dropped to the 6th, so I snatched him up really quick. Ground ball hitter, but if he is able to turn into a line drive hitter, he'll be a good hitter for us. So college bat, like what we have there. Also, I want to see, is he signed? Yeah, he's played 2 games. So Jim Schmidt, I'm excited for him. High school bat. We took him in the 7th round. I really like this Ian Avoid K's potential. Who knows? Maybe he can turn into a good player. Hiko Shaw, kind of positionless guy, but pretty good bat. Good dart to throw in the 8th round. Kadir Darrett, good defender, decent bat. Andy Lee, who I wanted for the 75 range in the infield. I think that's... Org is interesting. Then we kind of just threw some darts on some high school pitchers. Catcher here, Jody Morton. Not really a catcher, though. More of a DH first base type. They have a couple more darts. I don't think any of these guys were terribly interesting, but, organizational depth, it's always necessary. So there's the first-year player draft for 2034, and we'll keep moving forward and up to the trade deadline. Okay, we have one more trade to report here. So, let me see, really quick. I need to add Chase Petty to this deal. So, Chase Petty has been really disappointing this season. I trust that he's a better player, but is he a free agent? Oh, he's a free agent after next year. Okay, that kind of changes things. I might roll with him for a little bit, but we need another arm in this bullpen at this point. So, we're going to pick up Paul Gervais, who's the best arm on the trade block right now. He's been up and down with the Giants, but has a really good track record overall, having a good season. So we're going to give up Kevin Hood, who was a former first-round pick in 2027. Has never really amounted to anything with us, but I think he could be a good player. This bat doesn't play in the corners, and he can't play center, so there's my problem. Josh Bohawk, who we got in a trade with Colorado. That was for Carlos de los Santos, who is pitching well there, by the way. And Jorge Rezinez, who has a decent bat, but he's a corner outfielder, not really a good one, and he can't play center, and that bat will not play in the corners. So I'm okay giving up all of these. We have a ton of outfield depth, like players of this caliber in our system, so I'm pretty cool with this, and Paul Gervais will immediately step into setup role and be a really good pitcher, hopefully. So we're gonna pull the trigger on that one. It's July 20th at this point. We went through a bit of a rough patch. No, just kidding. We split 4 in Oakland, and then 1, 2, or 3 in Milwaukee. I don't know what I was talking about. It's a little early to be doing this. So okay, we need to add Gervais to the roster. Jose Pena we called up. I like him having him on the team as a leader, but when push comes, does Chase Petty have options? He does. I don't know if he will accept the minor league. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're gonna waive in DFA Pena. He's been through that like every season for us, at least once a year. Um, so we're gonna put Gervais in the seventh inning role, and that back end of the bullpen is probably one of the best you'll ever see. Pretty good stuff there. So set him as a reliever. Soho's our closer for now. Yeah, so this bullpen looks a ton better. Really, we only need the lefty, which Jimenez has been better of late. Do I trust him? Probably not. So I might go out and look for another lefty reliever to kind of take his spot. Yeah, we'll be back if we have another trade. If not, we'll update as the deadline approaches. Also, because he was on the IL, I completely forgot to mention Brady Allen. He had a fantastic first half of the season. Went down with a ankle sprain for 4 weeks, so he was out when I was mentioning all the stats and stuff. But yeah, he was probably our best hitter in the first half for sure. He's now back. I'll put him on a rehab assignment, and he'll be back probably within the next week or so. So very excited about that, and that'll make this lineup even more dangerous than it already is. We're already up to fourth in runs scored after this. Julio Rodriguez has 4 home runs in just 8 starts. Because he was hurt when we acquired him, and I kind of just didn't have him play. He pinch hit a couple times, but that's about it. And then, yeah, the rest of the lineup's been hitting better. So really excited. The rotation's rounded back into shape, and Jimenez has been okay. I still think I'm looking for another lefty to replace him. I looked at trades for a couple different guys. One of them being Ronan Kopp, but they wanted way too much for him. Jose Castillo I might look to get. I looked for the guy from Colorado here. Yeah, this Kevin Balkwell guy. He's still under control for a couple of years, so he was very expensive to get. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get another lefty in this pen to kind of replace Jimenez here. So yeah, we'll be back in a couple days. All right, so this guy kept coming up in a lot of trades just when I was trying to get rid of players. This guy, Jordy Martinez, probably a marginal upgrade to Jimenez, if any. But he throws 95 to 97, ground ball pitcher. All around a good player, good fastball, good slider, forkball, and changeup. And he also has a lot of stamina, which I like. Jimenez did too, but, he was 90 to 92. Didn't really have a put-away pitch. The slider was good, but he didn't have anything else that was really good. He has a fastball slider, so I like that a little bit more. They're also eating all this deal and giving us $500,000 cash, so we wind up making out $1 million more in this deal. Not a huge deal, but it's something. So we kind of need to make a change to that lefty. So I'm gonna go make this trade. The fans don't like that we let him go. It's interesting. I guess he's been a good pitcher, but okay. So Jordy Martinez, will add him to the active roster. So that gives us 3 lefties out of the pen at the moment. Bruin kind of being that swingman type, and then Lash the setup, and then Martinez more of that middle relief. Give me an inning type of guy. So Chase Petty will stay on the team for now. He's better in his last performance, so hopefully he turns it around. And yeah, that's about it, I think. We'll swim to the deadline here. Maybe we'll do this on camera, so not going to drag out the episode, but just show you guys what's going on here. So our team loves making substitutions. I noticed Eric Watson, pretty rough start there. That's quite a few. That's 2 in a row. It's coming off the IL. Maybe I put Bruin in there for a couple of games. I like Watson as a starter more than I like Bruin as a starter, but I don't know. We'll give him one more start, and we'll see what happens. But good game for the offense here, 11-1 victory. Julio Rodriguez continues to rake with us. That's 5 home runs in just 10 starts. Harrison Sodden continues to have a nice season. DeMartini. Wonder where Palencia was. Oh yeah, he's dealing with another injury. Shocker. Yeah, he's been battling through these all year, but he's been playing, and looks like they're benching him. I might override that here. Let's see. Okay, so it's up to our coach here to let the manager decide. I'm actually okay with that. I'm gonna bench him for like 5 days, and we'll see what happens. Um, Waiver. Okay, we gotta send Pena down. He'll probably be back up eventually. He always winds up on this team somehow, but 8-4 loss there. 3-1 loss. Julio's out for a couple weeks, so Allen's probably good. We're gonna put him on the active roster, and where that leaves our outfield is a little concerned. Because Brady Allen can't play center, Rucker can't play center. I believe he only has 50 range. Yeah, and then Palencia also can't really play center. So, man, this is tough. I guess it's Steve Driver's our center fielder by default. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Ramirez has been awesome since I've called him up, so I kind of want to keep his bat in the lineup. Maybe Ruckert becomes like our utility guy. Can Metz or Murrow play the outfield now? Yeah, we just don't have a center fielder on this team right now. Okay, let me do this off camera. I'll be back. Okay, so we're back at the trade deadline, and a couple things to update on. Julio Rodriguez did go out. I think we mentioned that. And then Adrian Palencia wound up dealing with that day-to-day injury, and then he was an unknown time to return, so I placed him on the IL. Our lineup's kind of a mess at the moment. We have like no backup infielder really at the moment, but we did call up Josh Moreau to make his MLB debut. He was just raking in AAA. His ratings aren't really there, but you know what? May as well give him a shot while there's playing time available for the next week. So he's up with the team. And besides that, like Steve Driver starting in center field, along with Mike Ryan, kind of trading off every day. Which I don't hate Mike Ryan, but it's just not the ideal center fielders to have in this team. Tony Ruiz has completely crumbled after a nice start. Then Brady Allen hasn't been quite as good since returning. Only 2 games, but you know he's not really carrying the offense. So yeah, we'll go through the trade deadline here. I don't think there's any more moves to be made. We just need to get those guys back and healthy. So there we go. Yeah, nice little losing streak here. Pretty rough. There's a 4-game sweep against the White Sox, and then we lose the first one in Houston. So difficult there. Just a couple of updates on development, and then we'll get out of here for episode 31. Yeah, nothing really crazy, I don't think. I've kind of been keeping my eye on these guys, so none of that's really new. We'll go through this Houston series just to maybe we can get a win here. So we win 6-2 finally. Okay. Mason Auer has been on. I feel like I always see him when I look at these box scores. Pretty good day for the offense. Steve Driver, do you have a home run? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's like was it like his 3rd career home run maybe? 3rd, yeah. Let's go. Cool. So that'll be the episode. We're currently 5 games behind the Tigers, and pretty tight wild card here. We're definitely not guaranteed to make the playoffs. So if something happens down the stretch, and we're in a battle, I'll pick up there. If not, maybe at the end of the season. Yeah, but if it's interesting, we'll go through the end of the year. But we'll probably pick up at the end of the season. If not, so. Kind of just repeated myself there, but thank you very much for watching episode 31, and we will be back next time. See ya.